Let's chat about decentering your job. I know we talk a lot about decentering men in our society right now, but can we talk about decentering your job? Yeah, I want to talk about that. Let's go there. I have been working with my clients. These are high performing Black women who are killing it in their careers and doing incredible work. But here is the problem: they have become so obsessed with work that they are worried, their blood pressure is high, they're stressed, they're freaking out. Everything is work, 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 work this, work that. And I had to tell one of my clients the other day, sis, it's just not that serious. And here's what I mean. Work is important. We love work. The work I do is all about helping you find fulfilling work. But what happens when work becomes a part of our identity? What happens when we get so obsessed with performing at work and doing well at work and connecting and doing all the right things and being on the right projects and being super visible? And this is what this person did to me. And this is what they said to me. And this is what they said in that email. And oh my gosh, do you think this is a microaggression? Do you think they're being passive aggressive? Do you think what happens when our entire lives and worlds get shaped by work? We get stressed. We start to fall apart. And I'm just here to tell you that work is just not that serious. Listen, I love work just like the next girl. I'm all about purpose, calling, alignment, fulfillment. Your work can be fulfilling, all the things. But there's a problem. And this is a problem that I had as well, where I was allowing my identity to be intertwined with my work and career. Meaning, if I'm doing well at work, oh yeah, I'm that girl. But if I'm not doing well at work, am I really that girl? And identity is not something that shifts up and down. You come into a greater knowledge of who you are and greater revelation of your identity, but you've always been that girl. You've always been great. That's what Christ says about you. That's what the word of God says about you. But when we start focusing on work, 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 and we define ourselves by our work, then we become obsessed because you've got to keep this thing going and you have to perform well if you are going to be great. Again, if your identity is deeply intertwined with your work, then you are only as great as your last project. You are only as great as your last promotion. You are only as great as the name and title at your company. So the title you have at your company or the title of the company. So I'm here to encourage you to decenter work. Listen, you are already married, you have a great husband, pay attention to him, or you want to get married, make some time to get out there and have conversations. If all you're doing is filling your brain with work, 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 you're not going to be able to lay hold of the other things you want in life. Get a hobby, take care of your body. Listen, you work 9 to 5 and you do your thing while you're at work. This is not me saying, oh, get lazy. You wouldn't even do that because that's not the type of woman you are anyway. You are a high performer, right? We have to beg you to rest. This is my message to you. Do your work, do it well. If you have a challenge, if you need to speak to your manager about something, if you need to speak to HR about something, absolutely do that. But once that clock strikes 5, your mindset should be, I'm going to leave work at work. Now, of course, there are seasons where things are busy. You might have a project that bleeds into your time. I'm not talking about that. When you are working within the container of work, work. But when you're not working, leave work alone. Get a hobby, go outside, spend time with your girlfriends, spend time with your family. Take that position at church where you can serve a bit more. Okay, read a book, work out, do all the things that make for a rich and fulfilling life and stop over obsessing about work. You can still do good work without being obsessed with it. And when you have this mindset shift that work is work, I'm going to honor work. And then when work is done, and when I'm done with work for the day, I'm going to put it down and I'm going to pick up other things. Why? Because work does not define me. I will do well in everything I touch, but that's just who I am. So whether I'm playing tennis or I'm cooking a meal or I'm hanging out with my girlfriends or I'm working on a multi-million dollar project, I'm always going to bring my best self. I'm always going to do well. I'm excellent. I'm a top performer. That's what I do. But I will stop over indexing. I will stop obsessing. I will stop enumerating. Oh my gosh, that email. What did she think? Oh my gosh, was that passive aggressive? Should I put an exclamation mark? Should I put a smiley face? Stop. It's not that serious. Decenter work, sniff the flowers, go outside, touch grass, and live your life. When you have this mindset, when my client got hold of this mindset, she was dealing with a lot of things at work, right? And she had someone that was under her who wasn't listening. She had a manager that wasn't supporting her. But once we started having this conversation around decenter work, stop letting work move you. Some people, you're shattered. Someone at work says something to you, your manager, you don't get a promotion. And we could talk about promotions and all that in another conversation. But something happens that you don't like at work. And now your day is ruined. Your week is ruined. Your weekend is ruined. You are ruined. You can start to doubt everything about yourself, who you are, what you do, what you don't do. Everything is just completely melting down. Work should not have that much power over you. You should know who you are. If there's a challenge at work, you deal with the challenge as a challenge and you remain steadfast in who you are. Instead of taking what happens at work and letting it define you, know who you are and take that situation for what it is. I always tell my clients a failure does not mean you're a failure. A failure is an event that happened in time. You assess the failure, what you didn't like, what you liked, what you could have done better next time. You do that and you move on. You're still that girl. Or the failure might show you, hey, you are operating outside of your identity, outside of your calling. Because what I always do is I look at myself and I say, who has God called me to be? And when I'm operating less than that, whether it's in my character, whether it's in how I'm treating people, whether it's in my work product, instead of saying I am less of a person or I'm not that great or XYZ, I say, wait, I know who I am. And what I produce does not align with who I am, who I'm called to be, who God has shown me I am. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix that situation. I'm now not going to take that situation and now apply it to myself because something happened. No, who I am is who I am. I am who God says I am. My identity is not derived from external things and things that happen to me. I live from my place of identity. So things that happen at work are not rattling you. So my client, she had things that were going on at work and she was feeling bothered. Her manager's not doing this, her person under her is not doing that. And we had this conversation. And when I tell you this woman is so light, is so full of joy. And guess what? Her work situation has not changed, but she has. And when you begin to look at work for what it is, which is, of course, it's a great way to earn money, right? It's a great opportunity to live in your calling and do incredible work, use your gifts, your talents, and strengths to impact systems, processes, people, and to change the world. And work is also an opportunity to hone yourself. My client is like, look, my job is paying me to become the best version of me. My job is paying me to gather skills to get exposure to leadership and people that I would not have met otherwise. My job is paying me to actually build out what will one day become a consultancy when I go out on my own. She's actually starting her side business and her consultancy now, right? My company is paying me to be great. My company is giving me access to budget, to projects, to opportunities where I get to use my hands, my brains, my knowledge, my strategy, my creativity to birth forth something. And then anywhere I go, I can talk about the fact that I worked on that project. I can take those numbers wherever I can go, wherever I go. I can take that impact wherever I go. Oh my goodness. That's how you start looking at work. It's an opportunity to make you great. Oh, y'all are paying me to be great. Now, granted, yes, you are impacting the company's bottom line, right? They wouldn't have paid you or they wouldn't have you in the company if you weren't. But when you flip the script and you look at work as an opportunity for you to sharpen your skill set and be great, because no one can take your skills from you. No one can take your gifts, your talents, your strengths. Even if your company moved on from you, you could still kill it in other places because you've been sharpened. But if you spend all your energy complaining about people at work and worried about who's doing what at work and worried about what they did here and there and the other, or complaining because this and the other, you're going to miss it. Now, of course, if something happens, speak up. This is not just become a doormat. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is the over indexing, the over emotionalism around work and things that happen, it's too much. Decenter work, decouple your identity. And I promise you, even if people at work don't change, even if your workplace doesn't change, all of a sudden work becomes different for you. Why? Because you've changed. Why? Because you have decentered and decoupled your identity from work. So now you're living in peace. You are. Are things still happening? Yes. Is the storm still storming? Yes. Are you probably going to start looking for a new job because people at this company are special? Absolutely. But until that happens, it is well with you and you are at peace because you have had a complete mindset shift and you are no longer obsessed with work. Work no longer defines who you are, what you do, how you move. Work is work. And we appreciate it and we thank God for it. But all this falling apart, melting down, you ultra super stressed all the time, your hair falling out. Okay, your vitamin levels are low, your thyroid is, I mean, the whole thing. Oh, just got a phone call. The whole thing is just thrown off. No, I want you to take your power back. I want you to take your power back. And I want you to start living life and enjoying life. And I want you to know that work does not have to be endured. If you truly are in a place that is horrible, while you are shifting your mindset, you can be shifting and finding other opportunities. And because you have had this mindset at work, when it's time to find other opportunities, when you are doing informational interviews and when you're connecting with people and having conversation, there's going to be a glow, a light, a brightness about you because you have not been wallowing in self-pity about your job and how you hate everyone and da da da. Because you've had such a mindset shift about work, when you go out to the world, people can see your light and people are attracted to your light and people want you to come work at the company because there's just something about you. So it would behoove you if you shifted your attitude about work, decentered, decoupled that identity, and started doing things in life that you love. Put work down when work is down. When that laptop is open, oh, it's time to go in. You're going to do what you do. But when it's closed, close it and let that be that. So if you are really struggling with things that happen at work, is it because you are assigning a value to things that are happening that you should not assign value to? Meaning you are deriving your identity and what, how do I best say? You're deriving your identity from things that have happened, or when something happens at work, it has to mean something about you. Because this person, you're not their favorite person in the world, it must mean you're a bad person. I'm all for self evaluation, right? If you are getting feedback across the board in different situations about a certain way you're moving, absolutely do something about that. But just because someone doesn't love something about you or enjoy your approach to something, it doesn't mean there's something now wrong with you. But every time something happens at work or every time you get a piece of feedback, do you now get to a place where you start to doubt who you are, doubt your skills, doubt your gifts, doubt your strengths, doubt your ability? Do you lose your voice? Do you get really quiet? Do you start to shrink? Are you now a party pooper everywhere you go because work is just weighing you down and you bring work into everything? So when you're around your friends, you're stressed about work. When you're around your family, you're stressed about work. You can't even pray. You can't do what you usually do because you're thinking about work. You're worried about work. You're thinking about this. You're thinking about that project. If this is you, I want to encourage you that it's okay. I want to encourage you, keep doing high quality work, but set boundaries. Set boundaries. You can do this. Decenter work. Live a rich, fulfilling life. Understand the work, understand the role that work plays, right? Because fulfillment in life, it's I look at it as like a pie, and there's all these different pieces that play into fulfillment and enjoyment and living a rich, fulfilled life. For a lot of people, and if you're watching this, most likely you, work is like 75%, 80%. It means so much to you. And you might be like, no, easy, not me, no, no, no. But I want you to check the evidence. I want you to check how you feel, how work makes you feel outside of work, how work makes you feel during work, the emotions you choose to operate in when something happens, how big a deal certain things are to you, and then how certain situations begin to change your identity and define you. If that happens, even if work isn't taking a ton of your time and a ton of your mind space, if work is able to change who you think you are, and I'm not talking about taking feedback, implementing feedback and becoming better. I'm talking about literally work making you think, work makes you think differently about who you are and what you're capable of and what you deserve. If that's the case, I want you to decenter work. I want you to decouple your identity from work And if you need help figuring this out, like how do you do this? Because listen, I want you to have a joyful and fulfilled life. And if you have this obsession with work where work defines you and work tells you who you are, then no matter where you go, you're never going to be happy. It's not about the company, it's not about the manager, it's not about the team. Now it's about you. And I'm telling you now, you're living a lower level version of your life when you are allowing work to have this much power over you and you're allowing work to have this much say over you. There is a better version of your life you can be living. And living like this constrains you. It doesn't really allow you to move in your gifts, your strengths. It doesn't allow you to be the best version of you. You will always be limited because your mindset is limited. You begin to feel like others are in control of your destiny. You begin to hand over your power to managers and teams and companies instead of knowing that the power is in your hands. So if this is a challenge you're facing, I would love to chat with you. I'm a LinkedIn, IG, DM away. Okay, you can always go to the link in the description and book a one-on-one call with me. I would love to chat more about this, but I'm telling you, if work has been causing you an inordinate amount of stress, it's time to decenter and it's time to decouple and it's time to find your true identity, which has already been written about you. Hey, Bible, get into that. And I'm telling you, things will shift for you. Until next time.